So here we are on our mooring just outside the Anchor Inn where we went last night.
And got a little bit sozzled on one bottle of cider.
It was 4.5%. I only had
We shared it.
Well, I had a lemonade and then I helped you finish because you couldn't finish your drink actually.
Well, it's not that I couldn't finish it, it's just that I didn't really like it very much. It was
really sweet.
It was a semi-sweet cider, it said. And it wasn't the sweetness that was the problem, it was the fact that it tasted kind of...
That was nice.
Apple saucy, I guess. I didn't like it. She liked it enough that she got, she was like, woo, down the tow path here last night. It's kind of funny.
It's 7 a.m. and we were supposed to be the first boat moving. This is the second one we've seen. Everyone's up early today. Maybe it's because it is due to rain at lunchtime and everyone's trying to beat the rain.
Trying to beat the rain, yeah. Well, we're clearly not the first boat moving because there's one right beside us.
But the pub was really nice and we met some other boaters and had a chat. So
yeah.
And there is actually a bow of a boat. Morning.
Morning.
There is actually a bow of a boat as the bar, and the woman running it is quite old. And apparently she's been running it for 50 years in the same way.
And her family's been running it for more than 100, and it's just a tiny, tiny little pub with 2 rooms.
And it's like a little snapshot of history.
Yeah.
It's really nice, really good.
And it is dog friendly, although George was spending because it's only two small rooms, and there was quite a few people in one of them, and we were in the other.
George got to get to know everyone in our room.
He did, yeah. But anytime anyone in the entire pub opened a crisp packet, he was just like, hey. Yeah.
So yeah, as I said, it's the forecast is that it's going to rain at lunchtime. So we're trying to get to Market Drayton before then. It's 4 hours away, and I think there's 5 locks. I've forgotten the name of the flight. Maybe it's the Tyrrell flight? No.
It's right at the end, just before Market Drayton, right?
Yeah. So breakfast and then on.
Yeah.
Oh look, babies.
Yep.
Did you feed them?
No, I tried to. They ran away.
So scary. Right. I'm going to go and get breakfast.
So terrifying. Okay.
heck of a lot of rock cut out, considering they didn't have power tools or anything in the day. Yeah, the cutting's pretty neat. And that tall bridge back there is really nice too. In Market Drayton.
We'll check the first mooring because it looks quite busy.
Yeah, so we're actually sort of on the edge of Market Drayton.
Yeah, it's 11:30, so it wasn't exactly a 4-hour cruise.
No.
But we've done 4 hours and it's 11:30, so that's what happens when you leave at 7:30.
And we did the mighty, what was it called?
They're right on that page.
The mighty Shebden embankment.
Oh yeah, that was interesting.
Yeah, it's this huge embankment that was built up by men using just an enormous series of cartloads of dirt, I guess, and earth. And in places it's like 40 feet off the local.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's just really high up. And you got to imagine that it would be very bad if that ever gets breached. At the end of the Shebden embankment, there's a big factory that used to supply Cadbury's. So there's a little chocolate wharf there. And then you get to the cutting. What was it called? Wood Sieves cutting.
Which long and deep.
Yeah, it really is cool. And there's these pieces on the right-hand side where it was obviously cut to a specific shape, like there must have been something there, some sort of storage area or something, because there was like these couple of places where
I didn't notice.
Where it looked like it had been, well, it's all overgrown now, but the stone had been carved into these multiple arches with these beams coming down. And so it was, it was like a supporting arch, but it also looked like maybe there was something underneath it that's now been filled in with dirt and stuff.
And it was pretty narrow down there. Like you could pass a boat. We were lucky and didn't meet any.
There was a lot of places you couldn't pass a boat.
But it looked like they've done a lot of offside vegetation management.
Yeah.
So I'm really glad, because otherwise I can imagine it would have been quite narrow.
Yeah. And there was some very tall bridges that looked sort of like they should keep going up and be like the lords of Middle Earth, standing there with their hands like this. Like, they were surprisingly tall.
Kind of monumental, weren't they?
Yeah. Oh, and then you got out of the cutting and it was basically just a fairly short run to the locks.
Problem was it was a really misty morning, like a really foggy morning, and it's only just brightening up and it's not even getting that bright, so it was a bit dull. I'd have loved to have come through there with like the sun streaming through.
It's not like a bad day or anything, but there's definitely low clouds, so off in the distance everything.
Yeah.
It looks like there'd be a good view down over some hills and stuff, but there's basically, it's just all blocked off after maybe 5 miles.
But yeah, then we got to the locks and they were pretty busy. Well, yeah, to start with anyway. There was that beautiful, I wanted to have a bit of a look around because there's all these lovely houses at the top. There's one for sale.
Yeah,
which
I took
really
a shot
nice.
of the one for sale in the little...
with mooring.
Yeah, and then I looked up the price and I was like, I can't afford it, but not bad.
Yeah, so we went in the first lock.
There was a hire boat on the lock landing.
Yeah.
And then came into the first lock, and I was like, ooh, L-sand point. I'll get the liquids, jump off, we'll have a few seconds to,
It was recycling. I managed to do the recycling.
Yeah, but there was somebody coming up, and we felt pressure.
She had a windlass on the mechanism before we'd even shut the gate, and drop the paddles there.
Yeah.
And she had a windlass on with one hand and a hand on the hip in the other hand. So it's like, okay. Yeah, so there was a boat in the second lock. So that was really timed well. And then there was a boat in the third lock. So that was timed well. There was a lovely woman lockkeeper working.
The volunteer, yeah.
Just on her own. I was really impressed that she was doing it.
Yeah.
Not that because she was a woman, but just because it must be pretty lonely doing it on your own.
And we got to the bottom lock, and the pound was almost overfilling. And Joe was shoved sideways by the overflow from the lock above.
Yeah, as I came out of the fourth lock, I was shoved into the opposite side. And I had to really power through. I was like, my God! And then as I came out of the last lock, I was pushed the other way and I was literally on the lock landing without doing anything.
Yeah. Yeah. The Tyrley Locks were really cool. Other than the large amounts of water sort of flowing around and the little bit of a rush at the beginning, they're very well sited. They're in a narrow cutting. There's beautiful trees all around, especially when you get to the lower ones. There's sufficient tree cover that is almost like just a roof of trees. You can imagine that on a sunny, clear day, there'd just be birds in the trees and dappled light.
Oh yeah, and then in one of the locks, we were just talking about whether you'd go ahead and open it or come back or wait and shut it. And this family said they shut the gates for us, so that was really nice.
Yeah, well, that was the family that I helped through the lock up at...
Oh, is that who they were?
Yeah, that's why they said that they owed us a favor.
Yeah, I was confused about that.
Yeah. So they closed the locks up for us.
Hi.
Yeah, so it was a good finish to the day.
Yeah, and it's not even midday yet, so we're gonna make some lunch and then
head into Market Drayton.
Have a look around.
Yeah, according to the Nicholson's guide, it's quite an old market town and everything with a bit of interesting history to it. It is apparently the home of gingerbread. Apparently, it's where Clive of India was born, and when he returned from Asia, he brought a bunch of spices and everything. And according to the Nicholson's guide, one of them could well have been ginger. They seem to think that the connection to the gingerbread thing is actually kind of a little bit, tenuous, but it still sounds pretty funny.
So gingerbread.
And I saw a sign saying that there's a street market that's 700. It's been running for 700 years, and it runs on Wednesdays. And today's Wednesday.
Yeah, it's Wednesday, so.
Yeah. So off for some gingerbread.
Yes.
Yeah. At least we got to have a little bit of gingerbread, don't we?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or a lot of it.
All right.
Also, there's a little.
Yeah.
Okay.
So thanks for watching.
If you liked it, give us a thumbs up.
And comment down below.
Subscribe if you haven't already.
And if you want to, get the notifications, hit the bell, and YouTube will go bingle beep every once in a while.
So, thanks very much for watching.
Sorry, I got distracted by the motor going thump, 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 thump in my ear.
So, thanks very much for watching.
Click down below if you want to... Nope, wait, I did that in the totally wrong order. Let's try this again.
Oh, God.
We thought this was a good idea. How about I start?
Subscribe if you haven't already.
And if you want to, get the notifications, hit the bell, and, YouTube will go bingle beep every once in a while.
You would go off script, don't you?
I can't be on script.